And I actually would love to hear the community's comments.
Somebody took it. Good evening. Welcome to the Board of Trustee meeting, June 11th, 2019. I'd like to take a motion to close the executive session where we discuss legal matters and reopen the public meeting. Motion? Trustee Rosillo, second. Trustee Nell, all in favor? 6-0. Please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I'd like to dedicate, Maura, are you going to do the prayer tonight?
I'm actually going to read something that says, how many people will take a bullet to protect a stranger? And a cop does this every day. So I would like to dedicate this meeting tonight to the two officers that got injured during the shooting at the Arsley Motel last week. We're very grateful for their service, and I wish a fast recovery to the one single officer who is one of our officers that is injured. And I am very pleased and proud to have such heroes in our community. So I really hope that everyone join me into thanking them and giving them a warm welcome. I hope that they return to work with a healthy body and a healthy mind. Thank you. Amen.
Thank you, Trustee. I'd also like to, in addition, dedicate the meeting to Jane Morgenstern, who is a long-time participant within the village as a trustee here on the Board of Trustees and many, many other areas. She was very involved. Unfortunately, I personally didn't know Jane very well, but I know that she was a real asset to the village, so she will be sorely missed. Thank you. So, as Trustee Dirazi had stated, there was that incident, the shooting incident that happened in, we did today talk to the officers that were injured in that, and they're all doing very well. The two Dobbs Ferry officers, one that was actually grazed with a bullet and shot, is doing very well, and the other was injured, and they plan to be back very shortly. So we were glad to hear that today when I talked to them. And I understand the officer in Ardsley is also doing very well. So that's great news, and to have them back quickly. Okay, so the board have been talking about for a while having department heads present to the board in the village and give an update on, and Kendra, Kendra Garrison is the head of our superintendent of recreation, was the first one. She drew the first straw. And Kendra's going to update us on, and we also have, it's kind of timely because we have a lot going on with recreation, with the camp coming up, and many, many other programs that Kendra and her crew have done a great job with in the village. Kyle and Gina are back here. So Kendra, you all set?
I think so.
Great.
Kendra, can you turn the mic on?
Is there sound to this? Oh, okay. Oh, there we go.
Move the mic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can take it out.
Take it out. There we go.
I like the music. Very calming.
Thanks, guys. Welcome to Dobbs. That's awesome.
I love that pouring.
So that was it. We just kind of wanted to show you where we are with our construction projects, everything that's going on, and then some of our upcoming programs.
Great. So I saw you put out an announcement on the site for the pool. They did pour half the pool. The balance is going to be poured within the next few days, I'm assuming? Hopefully.
Hopefully soon, yes.
Okay. And we're still trying to get it done as quickly as possible.
We are, if it would stop raining, that would be a big help.
Yeah, yeah. Well, there were a few instances, I mean, like last night, I don't know if you heard that downpour. It was like really heavy, and we've had quite a bit of that since we started this project. And at times, it did set us back because it damaged, I mean, obviously, the dirt and mud there in the pool area. So, but I was thrilled the morning when I saw the trucks pull up to pour the pool. I was very excited about that. Hung around for a little while. So we're still pushing for that to be done? Okay. As far as the community center, I did, the steel came in early, a couple of weeks early, which was great news. And I took a tour with Kendra Friday, and they're really making good progress on the community center. And I don't know if you've driven by there, but the steel is already up on the new section of the building. So that's a big step and a positive step. And the main building is really coming along. I mean, the walls are up. The kitchen is not quite there, but they're making progress. And the area where the seniors are going to be is, they're also
Correct, they're working on one side of the building, and then they'll work on the other.
work on the other. So that's moving along, and hopefully I know we're targeting a certain date for the main building to be done.
We're hoping for the fall for all of it.
Great. Anybody else have any comments?
I have a comment. I know that I have seen a lot of comments on Facebook in reference to these two projects. And Kendra, thank you so much for taking the time to do this. I really would like the community to understand that if we didn't do this, we wouldn't have a pool period for our kids this summer. And we as a community have to really understand that anything happens during construction. I am opening a hotel in Tuckahoe, which I just got news that my opening is delayed another month. And this is the third time that I get delayed. So just with that mindset, I know that I read a comment that says total failure. I don't know where something as amazing as what you just showed to us is a total failure. But we have to, be understandable that things happen as unpredictable weather and things that go wrong. Unfortunately, you break ground and then you discover things that they were wrong or bad in the infrastructure of a building, and that delays a construction. So please, let's be positive and excited about the great thing that we are going to have when the project is done. And I personally very much looking forward to getting my kids swimming in that fantastic pool.
So that's a good
Thanks,
point. And
Kendra.
it's unfortunate that people put that stuff out on Facebook. But Kendra, just you might want to comment. We do have a backup plan for the camp. The camp will be using. Right, right. So we appreciate Hastings helping us out with that. And I talked to the new mayor there, and they're also going to look at, I think they have a limit on how many Dobbs Ferry residents can use that facility, but they're going to try to increase that if they can for us. There's also, as a backup for the public, for residents, the county has a whole, I think there's 4 county pools. They swear that the Sprain Ridge pool will also be done. Wow. Is that Vicky? Yeah, and they swear. I talked to the head of the department there today, and they are still pushing to have it done by the beginning of July. So that's another option, and people can take advantage of that. If you want to swim, there are other opportunities for you to do it. Anybody else? Comment?
I just want to add my thanks and just reiterate, there's a lot for all of us in the village to look forward to when these new projects are done.
Great.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not on Facebook, but I heard about all those terrible comments, which is one reason why I'm not on Facebook. But
I sign
I
off.
mean, in a matter of weeks or even a month to delay for the type of pool that we're going to get and the recreation that's going to be available is it's worth it, right?
Yeah.
As long as the kids at the camp are going to get wet somehow or other, right? So good for them. So good luck.
And I want to know if there's any openings in the teen camp, because that is absolutely fantastic camp. I don't know if there's an age limit on that.
You've aged out, Bob.
Right. But Trustee Mazzillo raises a good point. The actual pool size is probably double the size of the original pool that we have, and it's going to be a magnificent structure that'll be around for years and years to come. So thank you very much for you. And listen, that's not all you're doing is managing those projects. There's a million other activities going on for the children of Dobbs Ferry, and your crew back here, Kyle and Gina, are doing a great job with doing that. So keep up the good work. Thank you. And that's probably the least amount of words in any presentation. So we have to come up with some award. Thank you.
Make her talk more next time.
Thank you, Kendra. I don't want any other presenters emulating what Kendra just. Okay. Thanks, Kendra. So now we're going to have Sonia Turjanian, who's a member of the Dobbs Ferry Garden Club, and Sonia and the club had invited me to a meeting going back. What was that? A couple of months ago, Sonia. February, and it was actually, I thought it was extremely interesting, and the subject matter was beekeeping in the village. And just while you get ready, I'll tell a little story. My next door neighbor house is in Hastings, and I think they're allowed to keep bees in Hastings. But anyway, it's right on my property line there, and so they have quite an extensive hive. And last summer, I heard this noise coming towards me. I was sitting in the backyard reading the materials for the board meeting, I think it was. And anyway, I look up, and it's a swarm of there had to be thousands of bees. So of course, I ran inside, but and I ran out the front door because they swarmed the house, and I ran next door to her, my neighbor's house, and I said, "I think your bees are in my backyard." And she goes, "Well, they're not my bees." And I said, "Well, how can you tell?" She goes, "I know right off the bat when I see them." But apparently there was a beehive somewhere that the hive was destroyed, and they were searching for a new hive. So they hung around my place. I was very hospitable for a couple of days, and then they found a new place to live. So with that,
I don't have any music with my presentation.
Fly to the bumblebee in the background?
No, I know. That's a good idea. I have more words. But first I have a couple of disclaimers, which are, I am not a bee expert or a beekeeper. So I don't know a lot about beekeeping other than what we learned at that Dobbs Ferry Garden Club program in February. So I'm the program chair for the Garden Club of Dobbs Ferry, and I put together lectures, and we invited a beekeeping expert to come and talk. And I invited the mayor and the board of trustees to come because I thought it would be interesting just to get everybody educated about beekeeping, since it's something we're hearing more and more about these days, and it's actually not allowed in Dobbs Ferry. And I thought maybe we should start thinking about it and looking into it. So the lecture was really interesting, and Mayor McLaughlin was obviously interested and asked me to come and talk about it tonight. So I'm here not as a beekeeping expert, and actually not as a representative of the Garden Club of Dobbs Ferry. I'm not speaking on behalf of them. I just happen to be a member of the Garden Club, and we are very interested as a club in issues like this, and issues of environmentalism and conservation. And Trustee DeRossi has asked me to say a couple words about the Garden Club because people might not know who we are or what we do. So I'm just going to start off with that, just to sort of let people know what we're all about. So the Garden Club of Dobbs Ferry is one of the first 4 garden clubs established in New York State. It was founded in 1923 as a working gardeners group to benefit members through education, benefit the local community through beautification, and support the broader community through conservation and environmental initiatives. In the early days of the club, we helped found the Federated Garden Clubs of New York State, and through the years, the club has actively supported legislation to preserve our natural assets and to prevent desecration of our environment, as well as legislation to teach conservation in schools. So, in a nutshell, that is what our club is all about. And so we've been active in Dobbs Ferry since 1923. We have meetings the second Thursday of every month from September through June. They're free and open to the public. We have programs about all kinds of subjects related to gardening and nature and conservation and sustainability. We advertise them in the enterprise, so I encourage anybody who's interested in these issues to just come and learn stuff, because we get a lot of really great speakers. So we had someone come and tell us about beekeeping. His name is Howland Blackiston. He's written a couple of books. He wrote Beekeeping for Dummies. And I'm just going to sort of tell you about what we learned and some thoughts about why beekeeping is important and why we should maybe think about authorizing it in Dobbs Ferry. So what do we know about bees? Bees are in trouble. You've probably heard about this. Honeybee populations have decreased 59% over the past 58 years in North America. You might have heard the term colony collapse disorder. That's what's happening here. 1 in 4 wild bee species in the United States is at risk of extinction. And there's no one reason for this. It's probably a combination of lots of different factors, but those would include urbanization, so lost habitat for bees because of building and new construction, parasites, neonicotinoid pesticides, which are being used more and more and are completely devastating me about that, that's an effort that's ongoing in villages around us and hopefully also in Dobbs Ferry. Reduce or eliminate the use of pesticides. Buying neonicotinoid-free plants. When you go and buy a bush at Home Depot, you can look on the label and often you'll see that it says treated with neonicotinoids. These are pesticides that the plants come pre-treated with these pesticides, and they are absolutely devastating to pollinators. So look on the label, if you see the word neonicotinoid, don't buy it. Buy organic fruits and vegetables. You know, we want to support farmers that are out there not using pesticides that kill bees. So by putting more money in their pockets, we're helping them and we're helping the bees. In your own yard, don't sanitize your yard. It's okay to leave in the fall, leave dead leaves around, stems, flower heads. Bees and other pollinators overwinter in that dead plant matter. That's where they hibernate for the winter. And if you get rid of it all, they won't be able to come back in the spring. So, don't blow it all away with leaf blowers if possible. Leave some of that dead stuff in place because that's where bees live. So, in other words, be a lazy gardener and help the bees. Buy local honey. It's great to support local beekeepers, professional beekeepers, because they're working really hard to replenish the bee population. And finally, support backyard beekeeping. If we can encourage this as a hobby, we can raise awareness in the community about all of these issues, from pesticides to, leaf blowers and things that are causing problems for bees. And it's just they'll talk to their neighbors about it, and it'll just help the information get out there if people are doing this as a hobby. Backyard beekeeping is already here. New York City legalized beekeeping in 2010. I'm sure you've heard there's a lot of beekeepers in New York City that are making honey. They have their hives on their roofs in Brooklyn and all over the place, and they're doing great. Just last year, Greenberg unanimously approved a new law authorizing backyard beekeeping in Greenberg. Also, Irvington they formally authorized backyard beekeeping last year. And professional beekeepers are currently and have been for a long time operating hives in Hastings, Irvington, and on Lyndhurst Estate. So bees are all around us. So the beekeeper at the Greenberg Nature Center says there's a misconception that if your neighbors are keeping bees, that puts you and your family at risk. That's simply not true. Bees can travel 3 to 5 miles. So even if your town has a ban, the town next to you might not. And bees will be flying into your backyard from 3 to 5 miles away regardless. So, as some experience. We've got bees. I mean, they're already here. And the fact is that domestic bees, the bees that beekeepers are using, have been specifically bred to be docile and gentle. They just want to collect pollen and make honey, like that's their mission in life. They don't want to attack anybody, they don't want to make trouble. They will only sting you if they're threatened or provoked. And sometimes we get stung in our backyards, it's probably because we didn't know the bees were there and we surprised them, or they surprised us when we, provoked them. Beekeepers know that their bees are there and they're not, nobody's getting surprised by those bees. And proper regulation will also ensure safety and that we're doing this right. Unfortunately, our attorney, Ms. Dixon, has already worked on this for us and has a lot of great ideas on how to regulate beekeeping in Dobbs Ferry, which is going to be really helpful. So that's it. Thank you.
Great, Sonia, thank you so much. And local, Alyssa, you going to say?
I'm only here in support as chair of the Dobbs Ferry Sustainability Task Force, just to let you know that there's increasing support throughout the river towns to establish a pollinator pathway. And so we hope to support that going forward.
Great.
And that means, educating people about pesticide use. And we would support a change in the village code that will allow for beekeeping.
Right, great. Thank you, Alyssa. But like local honey, I'm not a doctor or anything, but local honey is good for people with allergies. And put a little in your tea at night or in the morning and helps out a little bit. And they are docile. I mean, every once in a while you have one that comes by and gives you a buzz, but, but by and large, they just fly up and back down.
Yeah, it's probably a wasp or a yellow jacket, not a honeybee.
Could be.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
you know what, Sonia, that is a great presentation. Thank you so much. The hotel that I mentioned that we are, is under construction right now. We're actually going to have a green roof, and we are considering to have a beekeeper on the roof. So it's going to be pretty exciting. So it is building up. I'm going to go to you for recommendations.
So thank you,
I would be
Sonia.
for one, would be in support of pursuing a change in the local code to allow beekeeping in Dutch.
You can do it.
Yeah, we're fortunate, Lori Lee, you prepared the code in Ossining, right? You want to say a few words?
Sure. We had a task force in Ossining, and we undertook an extensive period of research, and we also did a number of site visits to local backyard beekeepers as well. And the local legislation that was referenced in the program made a change to the zoning code. Ossining chose, after a lot of time and effort, to treat it in their animals chapter because they felt that it's much more constraining for a backyard beekeeper to follow a setback because it might not be the prime location for an actual apiary. And with the protections in place, Ossining put a flyaway barrier in place and on-site water available for bees as well. And with those protections in place, they felt the beekeeper, which has a certain amount of expertise, it isn't like putting a chicken in a chicken coop in your backyard. It takes a lot of effort and time and training and continued education to successfully raise bees in a hive in your backyard. So they felt that they really should leave it up to the experts on where to place the apiaries. And so they did a revision to their animals chapter, and it's a matter of registration and being able to provide the village with the information of who the expert is, where on the property the hive is located, just so for purposes of education, if someone calls and says, for example, there's a swarm in my backyard, that's valuable to a beekeeper. And we have in Ossining, where I live and where I worked for a number of years, we have a list of local experts that are only too happy to come and move the queen into a temporary hive and then take the whole swarm away because they're valuable. And, so they chose to do it something that was not zoning. They chose to do it as a domesticated animal, as you would regulate a domesticated animal. So.
Terrific. Thank you, Lori Lee. Any other comments? No? Sonia, thank you so much again for taking the lead on this and bringing this to our attention. It's really great, and I think we all could see the benefits of moving forward with something like this in the very near future.
Thank you for coming for
I enjoyed it. It was very nice.
In a note of the Garden Club, just for the knowledge of the community, the Garden Club actually support the beautification committee, and they are areas of the village that they maintain and take care of, so thank you so much. They're not affiliated directly with the village, but they definitely work in collaboration with the beautification, so thank you so much for that.
Great. Great. Thanks again.
Thank you.
Sonia. Okay. So we have a continuation of the public hearing to receive comments on the introductory local law 1-2019, which proposes revisions to the affordable housing provision of the zoning code. So does anybody have any comments in the audience? It's opened. I think it's opened, right?
Yes, it is open.
Yeah.
You adjourned it.
Yes. Ann?
So we've been, I'm Anna Markowitz from 21 Valley Drive, and I'm the chair of the Affordable Housing Task Force. And so we've been following this with the help of Lori Lee and Donna and Maura. And we look forward to making changes in the future to what passes tonight, such as increasing the percentage to 15%. We know that that isn't possible at this exact meeting because of deadlines, and we need to pass the code as it is. But hopefully, in the future, we'll make updates and include 15%, and we'll look into more details about payment in lieu options, so.
Great. Thanks, Anna.
Thanks, Anna.
Appreciate
So,
it.
I'm sorry, just to be clear, though, the task force does recommend the passage of this as a preliminary.
Yeah, I
Change.
think that it improves
Okay.
on affordability, and so it's definitely a step in the right direction. We would like to go even further than that, and so we're gonna look into the feasibility of that. But this is at least a step in the right direction.
And just to be clear, this is really the model Westchester law, right?
This is the model law, which
Right.
is needed to apply for any grants that are available under the CDBG
Right.
funding. Therefore, and I apologize that there wasn't more time, but there are restrictions that want what the village or the municipality has to be in conformance with the model law.
But we can make it more restrictive as we go on, yes?
Yes,
Yeah,
as long as you don't make it, you know.
Less.
Less.
Yeah. Oh, I don't think there's a chance of that.
Also, I just wanted to mention that in speaking with Deputy Mayor Cassell and also, I don't think, no, Nicole isn't here tonight, and to Trustee Nicole, they have suggested that we tighten up the language in the in lieu to make it clear that it isn't an automatic. So when I looked at the draft that's before the public and before the board, I realized it could be construed as being a little bit more ambiguous. So I'm hoping to bring forward just a couple of tweaks, non-substantial, in the in lieu section, just to be sure it's clear that it will be at the discretion of the board, a thumbs up or thumbs down from the beginning. So
Okay.
if you want to speak to that, Deputy Mayor, you certainly are welcome to
Yeah, no, it's
get the
idea
comments
of-
and, yeah.
Especially right now, we need more affordable housing, and the payment in lieu of, mean that a developer could pay instead of doing the apartment or the dwelling unit. And at this point in time, I know the task force always feels this way, that there's, unless it's a very extenuating circumstance, that we really need to make sure that the affordable housing units are done by the developers. Also, at this point in time, we don't have a structure for payment in lieu of, we don't have fees set up, et cetera. But we just want to make sure that developers don't come in and, do a smoke and mirror thing, we'll give you this for that, blah, blah, blah. We want to keep it very strict, that we need the affordable housing units, and if we do opt for it, it will be for a very good reason, and we'll probably come up with some criteria for that as well. So I think that's the idea, is that it's not just a developer coming in and asking to do a payment in lieu of. It has to go by this board, and we have to approve it, so.
And that will be on a case-by-case basis.
Case by case.
And that's
Case by case, it's not a
Yeah, it's not a
slam dunk.
given,
You
right.
don't, just because you're asking for it doesn't mean you're getting
Right.
it.
And that's the language that I'm tightening up at your request, and I just wanted to be sure those comments were in the record on public hearing. Now, Mayor, just a reminder, we are still waiting for comments from the County Planning Board. General Municipal Law 239M requires us to refer any changes in the zoning code to the County Planning Board for comments. They get 30 days to provide those comments, and since that referral was made on May 23rd, the 30 days has not passed, and we have not received comments. So although you are ready to proceed, you'll need to leave the public hearing open.
So we'll
through
leave that open to the next
to the
meeting on the
25th.
25th.
And
Okay.
then at that time, you can, I'm assuming that the planning board will have positive input because this is based upon the county's own model code. There are ramifications if the comments come back negative, but it is not a deal breaker. You can override that with good reason. So we're covered either way, and it will also give us an opportunity to tweak that language on the in lieu so everyone has that revised law in front of them. So you'll have to hold it open again, and you can close it, and if it's the board's preference, I can have a resolution ready so we can
At the
move
next
forward on
meeting?
at the
Okay.
same time, yeah.
So we'll leave this open.
I have just one question about that. Is it possible to include the 15% then if
Yes.
it's being open for another session, or is that?
No, because then we'd have to re-refer it to the county, and that we'd have to give them another 30 days.
Wasn't it a 12 a recommendation, so are we making at least the move to 12?
I'm sorry, that would, again, be a substantive change, so there's a chance that it would qualify for having to be re-referred. The changes I'm proposing to the in lieu section are just to tighten up the language, so Charlene and I had discussed it, and because it is a proposal to increase, although positive, in light of the affordability, the thrust of getting more affordable houses in, it would have to go over there for their comments again,
So it's currently staying at 10?
we're keeping the 10% inclusion, and then we'll be taking recommendations with justification and maybe even offsetting incentives to get in more developers of affordability. We'll be taking those recommendations, I'm assuming in the next month or two, so we could tweak the language. And we would have to, again, re-refer it, but it wouldn't be a negative.
Okay.
And it wouldn't hold up Charlene's efforts to get the CDBG money, so.
Great, thank you. So I'd like to take a motion to open a public hearing to discuss the renewal of the franchise agreement with Cablevision, or Altus. Trustee Rosillo, second. Trustee Taylor, all in favor? So 6-0. Charlene, would you want to make a few comments on this?
Sure, before anybody has something to say about it, I'll make a few comments. This negotiation has been going on for about 2 years. What a number of our river towns decided was to have consortium for the attorneys and sort of do this as a group and negotiate with Cablevision, really Altice now. And that's been fairly successful, although each community has gotten different things in accordance to the number of subscribers, et cetera, et cetera. So this is a 10-year deal, much like the other one, which is good. It has the same amount of, from the net, 5%, so that's a nice amount of money. What is much better this time is the PEG payments, and those last deal that we had was something in the vicinity of $10,000. This time it's 88,000 and some change. That money is used for improvements in the technology. What we're looking at this point in time, because you get 44,000 in this year after the PSC approves it, and then 44 in 2 years. What we're looking at is a new system for here, because everybody has complained about it and really need it. And if there's any money left over, we are going to look to the Embassy Center and other places that we need some more technology. We're also getting a 10,000 grant, technology grant, specifically for the Embassy Center, and we're getting $10,000 in like cables and various things that Cablevision can provide us from their warehouse. So all in all, it's like $108,000, so it's not bad. And it's much better than 10. That's it.
I
Great
like
job.
I like that.
Great job, Sean.
Very good.
Well, that was the.
Oh,
Does anybody from the public have any comments they'd like to make? Well, this isn't courtesy, though. You want to? Okay.
Public hearing, I pay attention. Pay attention. Vicki Jones. I wanted to say one thing about this negotiation with Cablevision. Cablevision is the internet provider for our public library. And our library internet
Yeah, we have it the same problem, it's lack of signal, that's what it is.
Well, the internet in the homes run off of cable, and I think that even in my own.
I will
home,
mention it.
My husband put in my own home when we had problems, you can put a router in another room, and it increases the capability, so if you could mention that, I as a youth library user and friend of the library would appreciate if they would review that, please. Thank you.
Thanks, Vicki. Anybody else like to make a comment? Any trustees? No? Okay, so I'll take a motion to close
Yes.
the public hearing. Motion? Trustee Rosillo, second. Trustee Taylor, all in favor? Unanimous?
Mayor, can you make a motion to
Oh,
authorize myself
Yourself
to enter into the agreement?
Okay.
And a resolution will be forthcoming as to this, and that will be included in the record also.
okay. So I'll take a motion to authorize the village administrator to enter into agreement with
Cablevision Altice.
Altice. Okay. Motion. Trustee Nell, second. Trustee Taylor, all in favor? Unanimous. Oh, is it 6-0? 6-0. Okay. Courtesy of the floor. Would anybody like to address the board? Bob? Just state your name and address, Bob.
Mr. Mayor, I'm sorry you're leaving. I wish you would have stayed another term. What we need is Dobbsbury. I recently sent an email to all of you regarding the work on Ogden Avenue by Con Ed. When the installation of the new gas main is complete, they will be repaving half the entire road from Beacon Hill to Ashford Avenue. Having worked for Con Ed in preparing street openings reports, I doubt very much paving other than the amount required will be done. But a paving contractor already on the site with the equipment and crew is more willing and able to pave the entire road at a very good price. This reminds me of the missed opportunity we had on Broadway to bury the electric lines. I was there every day. I couldn't believe how it worked out. I can give you this here.
Great. Thanks, Bob. Thank you.
Many statements and promises were made during the planning of the DPW in Rivertown Square. At workshop meetings, emails, and board of trustee meetings I attended. Just to name a few of them. Ogden Avenue would be the best maintained street in Dobbs Ferry by Jim Dunn. There will be no need to truck any of the rock from the construction side of the DPW. It will all be used at the new development above the DPW. I'll let you people figure out who said that one. Delivery trucks on Rivertown Square would not use Ogden Avenue from the development. What is the beauty? A vegetable garden would be planted in front of the restaurant in Rivertown Square. We even spent time talking about this. Remember that?
Actually, I don't.
Okay, here's another great one. I like the idea my son could get a summer job at one of the stores on Rivertown Square. This from a voting trustee. The cost of the new DPW started out at $3 million and ended up over $12 million. There's another great one here. There aren't any qualified people in Dobbs Ferry to be on an advisory committee for the proposed DPW by a Dobbs Ferry trustee. I have an email referring to the DPW from the trustees, it's quote, "We now have to clean up the botched mess we inherited. And yes, paved and curbs sell. After going through the emails, the Board of Trustee agendas, and the notes I saved, Rivertown Square should have never been built, and it wouldn't have been built if the big dog had died a couple of years earlier. And I'll explain that after the meeting if you want. And here's one that's gonna finally, it's gonna sting. If you weren't here during any of that time, I find the words urban legend extremely offensive and very unprofessional. Thank you.
Thank you, Bob. Would anybody else like to? Yes, ma'am. Robin? How are you, Robin?
Hi, I'm Robin Larkins. I'm the co-chair of Spring Community Partners. We presented to the board in April and reported on all of our activities and the increasing use of families in need of some of the programs and services we provide. We also mentioned to the board that we were anticipating extensive shortfalls in our fundraising and programming because of increased requests for assistance and also increased costs that go along with some of the activities in the village, including the camps. We are very grateful, and I'm glad that the rec department is here today for the collaboration and partnership that we share with the rec department. Many, many children in this village are able to participate because of the collaboration that occurs with the rec staff, with Kendra, and with Spring, and we are very, very grateful. In the past year alone, nearly 50 children benefited from the programs that we were able to sponsor financially and that the rec department was able to help us assist families in getting their children into. Our request today, or our update today, is that we are still in a fundraising dilemma, and we thank the mayor for including us in his newsletter. And our next stage of kind of going after and trying to raise the funds that we need to pay for the summer of activities that we would like our children to participate in would be to request some banners. So we have made the request in writing to Liz Draper, to the village clerk's office, and just wanted to update you that we were making this request so that we could get on the agenda of the next board meeting and see if we can get some banners in front of Blue Park, in front of the Stop and Shop, and hopefully maybe put something on the corner of Cedar Main, since all of the proceeds from this funding will be going to pay the recreation department for the fees that the children in need in this community will incur to attend camp this summer. So we just wanted to update you and to kind of give you a heads up and to.
Great, Robin. Thanks for what you do, and it's a big help to a lot of the kids in town that can't, afford to pay for camp. We will put this on the next board agenda, which would be the 25th. All right? Thanks again. Okay, would anybody else like to address the board? Vicki? Thanks, Robin. Wow, bad call. Glad I wasn't sick.
I would like to talk with you after the meeting about fundraising for those scholarships. I want to find out how much they cost for one scholarship, and I think that there's affluent people in this town that could create a scholarship for 1 year. Okay, so I'd like to talk with you after the meeting. Okay. The other thing before June comes up, I'm still Vicki Jones, 55 Grandview, Duxbury, former trustee. But I have a question. There was a punch list several months ago. I heard a punch list for Rivertown Square, and I find it extremely aggravating myself when I come off the Parkway and I go to come home that way, and I see Bramley Park, and it's a dump yard.
Chauncey Park?
There's a park.
Chauncey.
Oh, it's Chauncey Park.
Yeah.
Excuse me, you're right, Bob. Chauncey Park is filled with debris. They need to get that stuff out. I mean, they have a punch list. That stuff has been there way too long. Please, I think it looks bad for the.
Yeah, I think that is still the equipment of the telephone company and the gas Con Edison?
I think some of it is, but most of it is the fact that they haven't done anything on the property yet.
Right.
Well, I think it's still village property, it's a village.
Yeah, it's our property, yeah.
Yeah, and I think, get your stuff out and go home, as your party's over now. Just make it look nice.
Okay,
I want to be
thanks.
nice. Okay, I'm Vicki Jones, and this is June Lai.
Hi, how are you?
June's with the library board, she's the vice president of the library board. Ali Moss could not be here tonight.
You're doing a great job, the library.
Thank you.
Great
We
job.
like it. We love our library. The one thing that I wanted to mention to you, just to give some people some background about the library, as I mentioned earlier, is 20 years old. And,
20 years old?
well, it's 20 years ago, excuse me, that we authorized building. the
Oh,
building.
okay, I was gonna
I
say,
looked
wow.
at the minutes tonight before I came to this board meeting. So 20 years ago, we started to build that new library in that space, and a lot of people didn't like the space because of the parking situation, and a lot of people didn't realize that the village was also at that time being sued because building the previous library was not handicap accessible. So for those people in the community that did not know that, I've now told you that story. Okay, but when I, as a trustee at that time, voted on that particular piece of property, one of the things that we felt was important was to be able to have access to the parking on Palisade Street. So we would, June and I would like to read you a letter from both the Friends of the Library and the Library Board. To the Dobbsbury Village Board of Trustees, the Dobbsbury Public Library Board of Trustees and the Friends of the Dobbsbury Library Executive Board would like very much for the village board to consider finding a way to connect the Embassy Club and the Dobbsbury Public Library properties by a ramp or a staircase leading from the Embassy Club to the terrace, to Hudson Terrace and the lower level entrance of the library. This is the opportune time to make this long discussed dream a reality. We should not miss achieving this benefit for the entire community. These two village institutions are situated in a way that to not provide a connection between the two of them seems foolhardy at a time when this connection could easily be added with the construction currently going on at the Embassy Club. For the children, adults, and seniors to be able to easily move between the building benefits all of us. Parents could drop their children at the Embassy Club for a class or function. Then the kids could walk up to the library to pick up their homework materials. Seniors could stop at the library to pick up reading materials or to walk right down the hill to the Embassy Club for lunch. Commuters could exit the train and stop to exercise at the club and then pick up library materials on their walk home.
Now is the time to create this passage. As Eric Kleinenberg writes in his book, Palaces for the People, How to Build a More Equal and United Society, providing social infrastructure, shared public places that allow people to make connections, form networks, and find ways to know and help one another is vital to ensuring the civic connections that are the glue that holds our community together. Public institutions, even in an age of atomization, polarization, and inequality, serve as a bedrock of civil society. Better physical connections work to enhance these social connections, ultimately benefiting the entire village. Please consider finding a way to connect the spaces that nurture the bodies and brains of our community. Thank you.
And I have a couple of very interesting articles, and I think I'll try and post them on our Facebook page where we only say nice things on that page.
Great.
So that you can read about this wonderful book called Palaces for the People. I'm sure many of you agree with me, libraries are a great equalizer. People that don't have huge, vast selections of books at home or the money to buy them from Amazon can go to the library and get any of the newest books, put on a list, CDs. You know, the interesting thing is even the DVDs that we have at our library are not things you can get currently on Netflix or on your cable TV. You know, if you're looking for a certain video, you can get that at the library. It is a wonderful resource, and, you know, to be able to have us be able to move freely through this community and be able to park down on Palisade Street, walk up from the train through a staircase to the library, it's just all about
Right.
a vibrant and sustainable downtown.
Well, the library has a great selection of music and video, you know, really terrific. And we have access throughout Westchester. I mean, if they don't have it here in Dobbs, they ship it down. So it's really convenient, and you save some money, like you said, rather than.
You know, we have a couple of architects in town who might be able to help us figure out how to do that.
Well, I know this has come up in the past.
Yes,
don't
and I
know.
was gonna ask, what is the, do you know anything? that
The
is
the
an
answer is
obstacle?
that in the short run, it's very logical to make this connection. You're absolutely right. When you look at those as two of the more important public spaces, and a link like that connecting in a much more direct way, it's a question in part of resources and prioritization. So getting the Embassy Center up and going, replacing a pool that was going to age out and not be functional even this summer without an upgrade, ended up taking precedence as capital projects. But I do think it's something that the village should be considering.
Yeah, I mean, if we could have a couple of, you know, I could get on the phone and call a couple architects I know to ask them if they would help. Or isn't Steve Tilley working on this building for you guys? Is Steve working on this building?
No, no.
But still, I mean, I'm a fundraiser. I donate a lot of my time to try and help the library. And I'm sure that there's somebody in this community that feels as passionate as I do about making this reality.
Right.
And if it takes getting grants from the state, going out and asking people for money for the couple campaigns, we need to do this, and we need you guys to take action.
Well, we'll take a look at it. I know that when we did the tour on Friday, you did show me that stairwell in the back of the building. I don't know, that has access then to Palisade, right? Or is that going to be blocked off because? It does have access. So it's actually pretty high up there on the back of the building. So if people coming from the train could actually go up those stairs, and you're only, I think, a few feet away from the library there.
Yeah, it's a little steep, so.
So maybe we could take a look at it and just see. I mean,
Awesome. I mean, we can only ask that you look and that maybe somebody does it. It's like 20 years. I mean, at one
Right.
point in time, Peggy Slavin was gonna put an elevator in, but that was where the stage was, and I took a fit because you couldn't use the stage to put an elevator. I didn't wanna use public space for an elevator. And,
Right.
you know, it's just anything that makes it easier for people to get in.
connects, yeah, connects. Great. Thank you, Vicki, I appreciate you. June, thank you also.
Information to Liz, so I'm sure she'll share with
Great.
the board. Thank you very much.
And you're posting it on your website? On your Facebook?
I'll be doing that tonight on our website, so.
Great.
It's really a great article about palaces for the people. It's, you know,
Terrific.
power for the people.
Thank you. Anyone else like to address the board? No? Okay. So I'd like to consider a motion to appoint Gina Bruno as Recreation Assistant at an annual salary of $45,964, effective June 1st, 2019. Have a motion? Deputy Mayor Cassell, second. Trustee Taylor, all in favor? 6-0. Congratulations, Gina. You've done a wonderful job. I've had the opportunity to work with you on occasion, and you guys do a terrific job down there, so we're glad to have you on board permanently. Consider a motion to appoint Kyle Crawford as Recreation Assistant at an annual salary of $45,964, effective June 1st, 2019. Motion? Trustee Rosillo, second. Trustee Durazi, all in favor? 6-0. So both are unanimous. Fantastic. Kyle, the same goes for you. Do a terrific job, and keep up the great work. And the kids in town are enjoying all the things that you make available to them.
And don't forget the seniors.
And the seniors, yeah. That's right.
You
the
guys are
seniors.
such a great support to the Youth Service Council, and every time that we do the movie nights at the waterfront, these guys are hanging out until late hours, uploading, and I mean, they are just great. So thank you so much for everything you guys do for us. Appreciate
We have a
it.
very,
Yeah, well, no,
Yeah,
that's
popcorn.
it. Kendra's task.
we have a very robust recreation program, and it's really been well received by the residents, so keep up the great work. Anybody else? Thank you. Okay. I guess we're going to have a discussion or deliberation and consideration of a resolution adopting revised introductory local law 2-2019 as local law 1-2019, which will revise the procedure for establishing and revising fees.
I just want to explain why it's revised. Any provision in your code as it exists today that had an actual dollar figure in it has now been removed and put in, will now be removed and put in the master schedule that'll be maintained by the clerk's office. So I added a few provisions and added a section 3. So I enumerated those sections. If it had a dollar figure involved, I now just refer it to Chapter 175, and once this passes, Liz will be adding those dollar figures that exist in your code today to the master schedule so they can be changed in due course like any other fee that you have in your code.
Great. Any comments from board members?
If there's a new fee, how does a new fee get added? It just goes into the master schedule
It will
also?
be, yeah, it will be discussed as, on the public record, and if you have a percentage of your board in favor, then you can pass that by a resolution to add that fee.
So
Yeah.
adding fees is not something that can be done outside of the resolution.
Correct. That's what the language in the new law says, yeah. So
this
it would-
is
It would be
adminis-
added as an agenda item, it would be discussed, and a resolution could be prepared, and you can add a new fee.
Okay.
So it's the same as changing?
Yes,
Changing is also a
same
resolution.
procedure in place, yeah.
So it's
But
streamlining.
not coding, but not coaching.
Doesn't, yes, it won't require a public hearing, and in many cases, it could be done in the same evening if it were in the pipeline to be coming toward the board, yeah.
Okay. So this really streamlines the process.
That is correct, because you can only amend a local law with a local law. In the past, you had to have a proposed law, you had to review it, you had to set up, so it was a minimum of 60 days. And as you know, anything in your zoning code, if there was a fee associated and a change in your zoning code, that needed to go to the county, so then it's 90 days. So this helps you to move forward and to address the needs of your residents more efficiently and effectively.
But to clarify, any changes would still be made in public at the public meeting?
Absolutely would need to be, and that's why it says resolution. So
Yep.
there'll be a record, a public record drafted with the appropriate language and the vote, record of the vote, yeah.
Okay. So I'd like to take a motion to approve the resolution adopting this revised introductory law, establishing and revising fees.
Yes, and your resolution is in your materials. The
Great.
resolution I drafted in advance
Thank
for
you.
you to take a look
Motion,
at.
trustee Taylor, second, trustee DeRossi, all in favor? 6-0. Consider a motion to authorize the village administrator to sign an agreement.
Liz, you have a question?
Yeah, I have a question. Will somebody be sending me the master fee schedule?
The master fee schedule is your current Chapter 175.
That's currently in
Okay,
there.
so I'm just cutting and pasting that into whatever.
Right, I would assume it would need to be in a spreadsheet of some kind, so you and I could coordinate on that if you'd like me to take a look at it. I don't have it any other way except a PDF, so I'm not sure how to accomplish.
You guys can talk about this
Correct.
off,
Yeah,
okay?
yeah, and we'll be adding the fees from Section 3, yeah.
Okay, consider a motion to authorize the village administrator to sign an agreement with Westchester Greenhouses to manage the 2019 Farmers Market. Motion? Motion? Trustee DeRossi, second. Trustee Taylor, All in,
Could we just talk about it
Yeah,
for a second? So this,
sure.
this is gonna run from June to November 1st, correct? And it's gonna be still at Cedar Street and Main Street. So has there been any, I don't think we really like it there.
I can
Right.
elaborate
She's
on
been
that. So
working on it.
So what's the deal? What's the deal?
Liz came up with the idea, which I thought that it was very interesting to have the farmer's market at the 99 Cedar parking lot, considering that it sits empty for now. But unfortunately, Nancy, who is Joe, who are the people that run the farmer's market, they took a drive down there and they feel that there is not enough traffic in that area. So we don't think that it's gonna be successful to have it down there. So for this year, we're gonna keep it where it is. We are considering seeing if we can expand it furthermore into the parking lot. But we also have to keep in mind that this is still the aqueduct. So we might need special permission from the folks at the aqueduct team. I do have a meeting with them scheduled for Friday with Liz, where I have requested for them to expand it and to make it bigger and better. So we're gonna have discussion about that, and this year, you know, I'm going to accept and work with them with whatever they have, but the goal is that by next year, we're gonna take this farmer's market to another level. So thank you, Liz, for all your help with this.
yeah, actually, I know that's, down at 99, it might be difficult for people to walk down there and back up
So a really
again.
good farmer's market, people will walk to wherever it is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and we can
This
have
is a Friday.
signs.
It's always, it's
So-
been for years a chicken and egg thing, sort of,
Yeah.
that people have not felt this is a great farmer's market, but that we wanted to have
They need
something.
foot
Right.
traffic.
And, you know, it does, Maura, I'm glad you're thinking about this, because there probably, everybody agrees there are ways to improve it, and then the question is how.
Right,
Um,
right.
And we haven't really gotten there yet.
One of the challenges that Nancy shared with me is that a lot of farmers have left doing the farmers markets because they are not really as beneficial to them as it used to be in the past. But the challenge that we have is that we have hours on Fridays. We cannot do it on Saturdays as I requested because a lot of these farmers are at other local farmers markets. And, you know, after all, it will be great to continue to pursue the Fridays, but I always feel that there's room for improvement. So I'm hoping to really work with Nancy. I asked her to present me what they are able to do because they have a lot of baking goods. I mentioned to her maybe I can speak to some of the local business owners that might be willing to put some chairs, offer coffee because they will bring the baked goods. But we were looking to expand it and to bring other vendors that will offer new products into
Great.
the farmers market. So
Okay.
there's more to come on that.
Terrific. So we're leaving it there for now?
Yes.
Okay.
After the meeting, then we'll see how we're going to proceed.
Okay. So do I have a motion
I
to,
think you had the motion. I think I interrupted after that.
Oh,
So I
okay.
think it's just a vote,
okay, so
just a vote.
Hold on.
trustee Taylor?
I was voting in favor.
Oh, you voted in favor, okay.
all in favor.
So 6-0, okay. Consider a motion to authorize Police Chief Manuel Guevara to sign a renewal of the communication service agreement with Goosedown Communications for a rate of $1,309 per month. I talked to the chief today, it's the same as, so, motion? Trustee Rizillo, second. Trustee Taylor, all in favor? 6-0. Consider a motion to approve audits number 1 and 2 for June 2019 as recommended by the village treasurer. Jeff, any comments?
No, I have
Trustee Rizillo? Trustee Taylor, second. Trustee Rizillo, all in favor? 6-0. Consider a motion to approve a request from Miss Michelle Voivoda to have a block party on Palisade Avenue, June 15th, 2019, from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m.
I'm gonna recuse myself. It's my block.
That's your block?
Yeah.
Are we all invited, by the way?
I'm not even sure. I can send you the email.
That's a weak invitation, man.
That was a very weak invitation.
If you want it, there's a bounce house.
I think we better call Michelle.
Last year, we said that we will not approve it unless we are invited.
Very
Oh
weak.
my gosh, I've been meaning to invite all of you to
Oh.
block party.
I
If you
got
were
it.
to pass it.
I have it on record.
All right. Do I have a motion? Trustee Taylor, second. Deputy Mayor Cassell, all in favor? 5-0.
Thanks, guys.
Now I have to recuse myself.
Consider a motion to approve a request. Ms. Krizanne Bayer to have a block party on Ogden Place, June 23rd.
And you are invited.
We are invited.
6 hours.
That was a little more robust.
Oh, we go forever.
On June 23rd, 2019, from 3 p.m. to 9 p.m. Motion? Trustee Nell? Trustee Taylor, all in favor? So we have 5-0. Minutes from May 28th. Any comments?
No comments from me.
So we'll approve. We have to take a motion? I get,
We do. Or just.
I'll have a motion to approve the minutes. Trustee Nell, second. Trustee DeRozzi, all in favor? 6-0. Reports and announcements.
Could I just go back, well, maybe this, we have the right date for that block party on your block, Donna, because the letter says.
June 23rd?
Yeah, it's a Sunday, isn't it, a Saturday?
We'd like to hold the block party on Saturday, June 23rd,
Yeah.
but Saturday is June 22nd.
Ah,
Ah, interesting, I don't know, I thought that.
Eagle
I thought it was
eye.
a Saturday.
it's a good one.
He's the lawyer.
Because I just wanted to see if it was a week after yours, and it doesn't, so I don't know what the right date is.
Yeah, it came to us the 23rd.
Can we authorize it either as the
Either.
22nd
Or
or
the
the 23rd?
As long as it's not a 2-day party.
Either, I say yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's usually the Saturday, so, yeah.
I'm gonna crash that.
And the 23rd is the Saturday?
That's the
23rd is
22nd.
22nd. Okay.
Okay, making that clear.
I'll find out so I can send you all your invitations.
Reports and announcements. Trustee DeRozzi.
I just want to send a premature thank you to the DPW for all of their help with the beautification of the village. They being such a lifesavers on doing the planters and helping me to be able to complete this project. Jen, thank you so much. She's been my shopper online. And these guys have been just amazing. It's kind of funny to have two guys just, telling them there and there. And they just been so pleasant to, follow anything that we wanted to do. So thank you so much to the DPW. They are not done yet. There is a lot of more stuff that we're looking to do. And so far, for those of you that have not paid close attention, look at the front of Sacred Heart Church, the end of Main Street, before High Street, as well as the front of the library. All of those places are already done, and I just recently discussed with Steven some of the other things that I have in mind to do. So I think the village is looking great, and I have a few more ideas that I would like to implement, but that is going to have to be with some of the business owners, but more to
Great.
come on that, how the village will look at the end of the season.
Terrific. Thank you, Trustee.
Thank you.
Trustee Nell.
We always need volunteers. Tomorrow night's our nominating committee meeting. But for the next one, send your resume and look at all of the opportunities online at dobbsferry.com. The task force, the Downtown Improvement Task Force, just an update. I have the final document. It's very, very, very long for you guys. I'm reviewing it one last time before they send it to all of you, but they're hoping to get a workshop on the books to go over the action items to see, for us to all discuss it and figure out what we can do immediately and what we can't do and what we can do. So look out for that soon. And the Rivertown's Chamber of Commerce has their June chamber meeting summer kickoff on June 26th, the day after our next meeting at 6 p.m. at the Alliance Center in Irvington. Co-working space.
Great. Thank you, Trustee. Trustee Taylor.
None.
Thank you, Trustee. Trustee Rizzo. None. Deputy Mayor. The senior picnic.
Ferry Fest is October 5th. I've been
October
getting
5th.
asked, and I'm going to update the ferryfesta.com website so that it says that.
Great, thank you.
But there's been, people wondering because it's Columbus Day weekend, the following weekend. They wanted to know if it's that weekend or not. So
Okay.
FYI.
Great. Thank you, Trustee. The senior picnic was rescheduled from today till next Tuesday, 6/18, from 11 to 1. The PTSA had their annual meeting this week, and they also have the Safe Routes tomorrow, walk to school.
Right.
So depending on what school I guess, you're going to walk to with the kids. So I'm planning to walk to Springhurst.
Will you walk my kids to school?
Will I? Of course. You're going to drop them off, or do I have to?
Like the hills and the
I also want to thank Father Tim Scannell, who he is retiring from Sacred Heart Church. He also had his 50th anniversary and is the fire department chaplain for 20 years in Dobbs Ferry, and he will be leaving us at the end of this month. Just a reminder, village taxes have to be paid by the end of the month, and by law, they are due and must be paid. We can't really make an exception to that. I did go to a meeting with the county executive and other representatives of villages on shared services. The county, town, and villages have made strong efforts in the last year in that area, a lot of that in the technology end. And the work will continue. This was the first meeting for this current year, and we will be eligible, it looks like, for some of the monies from the state level for achieving certain benchmarks. So there's more to come on that. I know that the town of Greenberg has made tremendous strides, and they've worked with Dobbs Ferry, Charlene, on the food scraps program that was announced recently, and a few other things. So that'll be a big effort moving forward in the near future. So with that, I'll take a motion to adjourn the meeting. Motion, Trustee Taylor. Second, Trustee Rosillo. All in favor? 6-0. I'll use my